This is a featured UK Talk Radio Top Business.
A warm welcome to UK Talk Radio. Great to have your company as always here on UK Talk. We've got the music you love and the chat you enjoy here on UK Talk. We love all things self-improvement and spirituality. And we have our resident hypnotherapist for the Bournemouth and Poole area, which is, of course, Lynn Mitcham. Delightful to have you in the studio again, Lynn. Welcome.
Nice to be here. Thank you very much, Jonathan.
Always good to see you, Lynn. Now, you are a resident hypnotherapist for the Bournemouth and Poole area. You've only been, you've been in practice now about a couple of years.
I have.
Still quite new.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've noticed about you, Lynn, is that you specialise. Your speciality has become the gastric band, hasn't it, for helping people to finally lose weight?
That's right, yes. Yeah, it's very popular.
Now, the gastric band, a lot of people will have never heard of this. What is it?
The surgical gastric band, which you have, bariatric surgery, is where a band is put around the top part of the stomach, reducing the size of the stomach, so automatically people eat less, which obviously helps them to lose weight.
Yes.
The hypnogastric band is a program of hypnotherapy which convinces your mind that you have actually had a gastric band fitted around the top part of your stomach.
It's intriguing.
It is. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
And it really helps people to eat less. And they don't feel hungry between meals either, because that, of course, is always a problem with dieting. You feel so hungry. With the hypnogastric band, you don't feel hungry between meals.
Is this suitable for anybody who's got a weight battle?
It is, although it is generally used with people who have 2 stone or more to lose.
Right.
But it can be used with people with less to lose if they wish. Or alternatively, there is ordinary weight loss hypnotherapy, which just uses suggestion and visualisation, which is used in the hypnogastric band programme anyway. But we just don't fit the band with people who have less than 2 stone on the whole.
So when they come into this, when they actually go into the hypnosis, when they actually undergo the hypnosis, what do you do? What do you tell them? How do you, if you like, reprogram their mind on this?
Yes, well, with the hypnogastric band, we start off just using suggestion visualisation.
Yes.
Asking them to visualise themselves the size and shape that they really want to be. And see themselves in a mirror, because that gives them some idea of what they're aiming for. And then we use suggestions about eating less, exercising more, chewing more before swallowing, because that actually helps you to eat less.
Yes.
And then we move on in the second session to talking about the actual operation. And I take the client in trance to visit their surgeon.
Yes.
And then we talk about what the surgeon will tell them about the operation. And then the third session is the actual operation, the hypno operation, where again I will ask them. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Lynn, when was this first introduced? When was this discovered? Because this is a type of hypnotherapy which is very niche, and that word again, niche, I seem to be using that word all the time. Until I met you, Lynn, I must admit I hadn't heard of this particular... I'd heard of the literal gastric band and obviously spoken to hypnotherapists, but the hypnotherapy, literal, virtual gastric band I hadn't heard of. Is this still fairly new as an idea?
It is reasonably. It's been around for a few years, but it's perhaps not as well known as we would like it to be. It is a safe alternative to the actual surgery, and increasingly now people are preferring to go for the hypnogastric band rather than the surgery. Surgery really is a very last resort.
Yes, hideous. And this has become your speciality because you've won the battle yourself, Lynn.
I have, yes, yeah.
Yes.
I have lost just over a stone in weight, and that actually was through the hypnogastric band. So I had less than 2 stone to lose, but we used the band, and very effective.
Now, you work in 2 different places in the Bournemouth and Poole area.
I do. I work in Bournemouth, Holdenhurst Road.
Right.
And also in Wimborne.
In Wimborne, right, which is not too far from Bournemouth. What is your website, Lynn?
My website is www.sylvan-therapies.co.uk.
And that's Sylvan, SYLVAN, and then hyphen therapies.
It is.
.co.uk. And what we're going to be talking about very shortly with you, Lynn, here on UK Talk Radio is the homework that you give people, and also how you work with recordings, which you also provide for people. That's coming up in just a few moments after this on UK Talk Radio.
This is UK Talk Radio, with the music you love and the chat you enjoy. This is a featured UK Talk Radio Top Business.
Welcome back to UK Talk Radio. If you just joined us, we're talking hypnotherapy with our resident hypnotherapist, Lynn Mitcham from Sylvan Therapies. She's our resident hypnotherapist for the Bournemouth and Poole area. Here on UK Talk Radio, we love all things self-improvement and therapy and spirituality. Lynn, before we go any further to talk about homework that you give to people and also your recordings that you do and provide for people, in a nutshell, just to recap once more, what is hypnotherapy and hypnosis?
Hypnosis is a trance state that people are guided into by a hypnotist, and the trance state is a very natural state. It's an altered state of consciousness. The state, every time anybody goes to bed at night, every time they go to sleep, they will pass through a trance state, so it is completely natural and safe.
Yes.
People are aware of what's going on around them, but they're very, very deeply relaxed, and most of them just don't really care what's going on around them. It's just very pleasant, very relaxing, and very enjoyable.
Yes. And just to clear up some of the cliches, some of the naff cliches that people have about hypnosis from what they've seen on television, it couldn't be further from that, could it?
No. The client remains in control throughout. The hypnotist or hypnotherapist is not controlling the client. No. So it's very different from what you might see on stage.
No, you're not a controlling person, Lynn.
Absolutely not.
So really what it is, they tell you where they want to get to, they want to get to. They've made that decision.
That's
and
right.
You're like, if you like, the train driver.
That's right, yes.
Or in the driving seat.
I can guide them, yes. Yeah, I can't make the changes for them that they need to make. What I can do is just guide them and help them on their way.
And what's always struck me is the success rate of hypnotherapy. It's 80 to 90%, isn't it?
It is. It's very good, yes. Yeah, very effective.
And the average number of sessions is about 5 or 6?
That's right, yes.
Very broadly speaking.
Yes. Some people need more, some people need less, because we are all individuals. We all differ.
Yes. Now, you do give people homework. Is that something that you always do? Is that something you always recommend?
I do, because it reinforces what we do in the sessions.
Yes.
Obviously, if somebody just sees me perhaps once a week or even less, it perhaps wouldn't have the same effect. But if they're going home and they're working on things at home as well, that helps to reinforce things. And change takes time.
Yes.
And again, it does vary from person to person. The more that they work on it, the more likely it will be to succeed.
Now, what can this homework consist of?
Sometimes I will give them a questionnaire to fill in and think about and bring back, and we discuss it in the next session. Very often it will be a CD or an MP3, a recording basically of either the session itself, or I will record something after the session for them, relevant to the changes that they wish to make.
So you provide recordings for people, and
I do provide recordings.
Yes, which yes. Now, you mentioned there are some types of things that you wouldn't put on a recording because they're not suitable. What sort of things would they be?
Things like a regression session, I wouldn't put on a CD.
Past life.
Not necessarily past life, just depends what comes up. But I do use regression for some things to see where a problem might have originated.
Yes, because they might not be sure.
They may not be sure, no, and it is strange or amazing, really, what does come out. There are other sessions. Sometimes I use a different way of getting people into trance. A rapid induction, it's called, where I actually touch the client. But obviously, when they're at home, they're not getting that. So it would be better if I use what's called a progressive muscle relaxation type induction, which is longer and it's just spoken. So I would record that separately if I'd used the rapid induction actually in the session.
Yeah, you sound like you've been doing this for years, Lynn.
It sounds
That's
good.
the impression you give.
Good.
Yeah, so you work from your practice,
Yes.
which is in Holdenhurst Road, fairly central Bournemouth, just outside the centre. So that's an address that's easy to find. And the other place in Wimborne is what?
It's the Alchemy Health Clinic on Lye Road in Wimborne, where they do all sorts of complementary therapies, including hypnotherapy.
And in the last, also 2 or 3 years, can you think of anyone that's been really a very, very unique problem they've come to you with? I know smoking and weight and anxiety are the biggest ones.
They
aren't
are,
they?
yes, they are, yes.
Is there anything that's really quirky that's come up in the last 2 or 3 years? Anyone that a bit more?
The strangest one that came up was the fear of vomiting.
Yes, I didn't know about
Yes.
that until you started. Until we started our chats on.
That's right. Yes,
on here.
yeah. Which apparently is actually more common than you might think, because it's not something that you tend to hear about. But it is quite common. I mean, none of us really like the idea of vomiting or being around other people
I'm
who are
horrified by
vomiting.
it, yeah.
Yes, but it does have a really drastic effect on some people. They really can't cope with it, and it can lead to other problems like agoraphobia, because they won't go out in case they come across somebody who is ill, and also anorexia, because they are frightened to eat in case they vomit.
Yeah.
So yes, that it can be very, very serious actually.
That's hideous, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, none of us like it. I mean, I might have a slight phobia of it simply because I think I've got quite a strong stomach, and it's so unusual for me to be ill.
Yes.
So
yeah.
it would be a really big deal for me if I did have nausea.
Yeah.
'Cause it's so rare. Touch wood.
Is, yeah. It is best if you just think about it as being completely natural, though. It is the body's natural way of getting rid of something that the body perceives as dangerous. If it's something you've eaten, it is something that perhaps is disagreeing with you and could cause more harm if it remained in the body.
I know, it's amazing.
It's just a natural way of the body sorting out a problem, really.
The body's got a mind of its own, hasn't it?
Oh, it has, yes. Yeah.
And the stomach as well, going back to the gastric band, you mentioned, I like the phrase you used last time. You said it's re-establishing a relationship between the brain and the stomach.
Yes.
When it comes to people's eating habits.
That's right, yes, yeah. We tend to eat mindlessly. We don't think about what we're doing. We're often doing other things at the same time. And before you know it, you've eaten far too much. Yes, looking at your phones, looking at the television, whatever. Yes, yeah.
Yes.
So a lot of what I do is actually reconnecting stomach with the brain, so that people are aware of what they're eating, and then they can take control and they can make decisions about what they put in their mouths and how much they put in their mouths.
That's right. Yes. Thanks so much, Lynn, for joining us once again on UK Talk Radio. It's great to have you in the studio every month. That's Sylvan Therapies. SYLAN hyphen therapies, sylvantherapies.co.uk, and Lynn is our resident hypnotherapist for the Bournemouth and Poole area, so go and have a look at her website and get in touch. Lynn certainly knows her stuff. She may be still fairly new, 2 or 3 years, but it doesn't come across that way.
Thank you very much. That's great, Jonathan.
Thanks very much, Lynn. All the best. Speak to you next month.
Thanks. Bye.
This is UK Talk Radio, with the music you love and the chat you enjoy.